Hi, welcome to episode 289 of your favorite daily podcast. A couple of things, a podcast about things. Today, I'm going to talk about some walking down memory lane type thing. So, I was looking for a link in my bookmarks today, and I started going through everything. And it's so interesting what different kinds of things can reveal about us. And although like bookmarks are not timestamps, so you don't have a literal history of going back, but just seeing some of the links in there, like I saw a lot of bookmarks related to school, doing a master's program or a PhD in different countries, and they were quite detailed. So it was just like, wow, there was a period in my life where this was the most pressing thing on my mind, and I had to record everything, bookmark things that I needed. I also saw a lot of bookmarks around like being a freelancer, which is something that I was trying to pursue when, let's say, some 4, 5, 6 years ago. Then I have obviously lots of bookmarks relating to UX research, which I haven't even opened. I also have lots of bookmarks around writing. When I used to do a lot of creative nonfiction writing, and so bookmarks around like prompts, things to help me get to writing, places I could submit my writing to, article inspirations where I could submit academic papers to, because that was something that was like really important to me at some point. And then I also have a lot. I'm surprised by the amount of food related bookmarks I have, and these are like from years ago, and more recently the baking, and such and such. I also have, for some reason, a lot of stock photo bookmarks. I don't know why, and I can't remember why, but there are a lot of stock photo bookmarks. But again, this is just interesting about how there are so many data points about us that exist digitally. I mean, obviously there are things that exist physically, like I have physical journals and gratitude journals and things like that I look back at, and I'm like, wow. I still have a um notebook from when I was in high school. Occasionally I go and open it and see like what was on my mind then, what was I writing about, what was I thinking about, that is not recorded digitally, and really going back through all these things. And I guess also I'm currently in a very, very reflective mood because my birthday is coming soon and I'm so excited, but also very reflective and thinking about like where I am now and just my life and the past 3 years in particular, and what the future could be like. I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about the future, but more like reflecting on the past couple of years in particular, but just generally my life so far. And so I guess this also just sparked that for me. Like when I was looking for this bookmark and seeing all these things, just sparked something, like reminding me of just the things that were important to me at some point in my life. And strangely enough, I don't, some of these things I don't even remember why I bookmarked them. I'm seeing a lot of bookmarks from when I was a very, very active book reader and reviewer. I was super active on Goodreads. I was moderating like 4 or 5 groups or something. I was receiving books to review, advanced reader copies to review. Like, it just shows me the different stages of my life. I also saw a lot of bookmarks around photography and Photoshop and things, and this is the very brief period where I almost became like the next Bible or whatever, which I've already spoken about on the podcast. But and yeah, I wonder what me in 10 years will be noticing, and what stories I will tell about myself or make up about myself when I'm looking back at my um bookmarks or journals or whatever then. And that's if like all this stuff still exists and Jesus has not come. But I just wonder like what would I see there? What would that tell me about where my mind is at, or where my mind was at now, like 10 years ago? Do you guys get what I mean? I feel like but yeah, yeah, it's just very interesting how much data that we create about ourselves intentionally and unintentionally, and how we can piece together the details of our lives in some way through these things. When I was looking at my 48-hour data tracking data, when I was looking at the like very detailed logs, I would see an app. I'm like, why did I open this app? And then I would look at like 3 things before it or 4 things after it. I was like, oh, I opened it because I was trying to do this specific thing. And it's just so, it was really cool to be able to do that, to see that, oh, I opened my camera in church. Why did I open my camera in church? I could not remember. Then I saw that the next link was, the next thing was Chrome, and I was like, oh, I probably was scanning a QR code that was on the screen, which was so fascinating. Like being able to just piece some hours of my life together to remember why I did specific things just by looking at the data. Like for somebody else looking at that, it will make no sense. They won't be able to make any meaning out of it. But I was able to like remember things by looking at that, and also thinking about like looking at your Netflix watch history from years ago and just seeing the things that you were interested in then, if you're still interested in them now, or like how some things are really, really associated with specific times of your life, particularly music, and just seeing the kinds of music you were, which is why I like looking back on my Google YouTube music thing, because YouTube music doesn't just do like your whole year, it also does for the quarters of the year, and it's very interesting to see what kind of music I was listening to in different quarters. I remember 2022, I think 2023, my January to March playlist of the songs I listened to the most, and you could tell from the playlist I was really going through it then. So it's just, again, there's just so much data about us everywhere. Some of the things that we intentionally consciously created, and things like in your journal, in your diary, and things that we unintentionally create, like your YouTube watch history, or your Spotify, or whatever app you use to listen to music history, and your bookmarks and your browser history. All very fascinating. And yeah, this is the end of today's podcast. This is just a random rambling / reflection on bookmarks and your digital footprint and history, and so on and so forth, because it was top of my mind. Anyway, another random thing I saw was there's this game I used to play in my friend's house in like 2016-17 or thereabouts, 2018, and I had bookmarks of like gameplay guidance or whatever, and I saw it, I was like, wow, this is so random. Because funny enough, a couple of weeks ago I was trying to remember the name of this game and I couldn't, and I just randomly saw it in my bookmarks today, and I was like, wow, this brings back a lot of memories, and it was just interesting. I recommend doing this activity and seeing what you find, and just how many things it reminds you of. It was really nice to go through that and see all those things. But anyway, on to number facts. There were not a lot of facts for today, and even for the number 76, which is the number of days left in the year and the number of episodes to go in the podcast. But anyway, number 76 is the atomic number of osmium. It is also a locus number, an automorphic number, a non-totient, a 14-gonal number, and a centered pentagonal number. I don't know what any of those things mean, but when I saw it, I was like, I have to say this. And then on Today in History, also didn't see a lot of things. Most of the other things I saw were quite depressing. But on Today in History, in October 16, 1384, Jadwiga is crowned as King of Poland, although she's a woman. Interesting. This was in 1384. And that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If there was anything you found interesting or insightful, or you enjoyed the episode, please do share to someone or multiple people. Like, leave a comment, and definitely do subscribe and all the nice things. Bye.